Okay, so my name is Marc D'Amore. I am a senior here at Clarkson, and I am studying aeronautical engineering. I hail from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, a small town called Berlin. So currently in Air Force ROTC, I have the, position of vice commander of the cadet wing here. I work with the cadet commander, and we basically serve as the bridge between cadre and the actual students in the program. So we handle most of the day-to-day operations, whatever the students are doing. That's pretty much what we coordinate with our cadre on. And it's a good time. It's fun. So the reason why I chose to join ROTC is I really wanted to serve, and me wanting a career in the aerospace field, I felt like it was the best fit for me. And I really didn't put that much thought into it. There was a little bit where I was thinking, okay, maybe Marines, maybe whatever. But for the most part, Air Force was always what I wanted to do. That's all I really knew. I mean, I never had anybody that served in my family, so I didn't have anyone to provide that guidance, which was positive and negative. On one hand, I had to figure everything out for myself, but on the other hand, it was good to make that decision, on me, and it forced me to do my research. And so, yeah, that answers the question.
Perfect.
Yes, so in Air Force ROTC, and all ROTC in general, but since we're speaking Air Force, everybody that graduates the program gets some sort of financial incentive. And the reason for that is we all have to contract. So we all have to sign our service obligation. So everybody gets money. Now, how much you get, that depends on your scholarship. So for me, since I joined my freshman year, I wasn't eligible for the high school scholarship. And that's something that I really push on, high school applicants, individuals that really want to come to Clarkson. I'm like, hey, get on that high school scholarship, because the earlier you get on that, the more chance you have of getting all of college paid for, which I think everybody wants. But everybody gets some sort of stipend when you contract, once you sign your service obligation, and that's anywhere between your freshman year and the start of your junior year. So by the start of junior year, everybody's contracted and everybody's getting paid. The time commitment, I'll just talk through basically what a normal week is. So for Mondays, starting on Monday, we have our Air Force lab, which is a 2-hour lab. It's basically leadership exercises, officer training, learning basic customs and courtesies of the Air Force, starting your freshman year. Sophomore year is more of an executionary thing, and then junior and senior year, you serve as more of an instructor role to the freshmen and sophomores. So that's 2 hours long. Usually we have those Monday evenings. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, we have physical training, PT sessions. Those are an hour. Those are usually at 6 a.m. And honestly, the early wake up's the worst part. No one has anything going on at 6 a.m., so it's really not that bad. It's just an hour workout with everybody. We do stuff anywhere from running to push-ups, sit-ups, hills. Right now, since it's warm out, we do a lot of hills out on Woodstock. Body weight exercises. And towards the end of the semester, we'll do sports and stuff. So it's, that's really the gist of the PT stuff. And then during the week, we have Air Force class, which is, it's a 1 to 3 credit course. So freshman and sophomore year, it's a 1 credit course. And that deals with the basics. So freshmen take the AS401 class, or AS101 class, excuse me. And that's really what the Air Force is, I guess. Clean slate. Here's what we do. Here's what it is. Here's our history. Sophomore year, you build on that and you talk about the history with, air superiority. So different technology that's employed in the Air Force from the Air Force's conception all the way to now. And then junior and senior year, it's treated as an introduction to officership. So junior year, you do a lot with types of leadership, how to be a positive leader, positive influence on the people that you're leading. And then senior year, it's pretty much just a preparation for commissioning, what to expect once you pin on those gold bars and you go out into the operational Air Force and you're a lieutenant and you're doing your thing, how to handle certain environments, individuals. There's a big emphasis placed on what kind of leader you're going to become and how you have to adapt to different personalities because everyone's different and stuff like that. So the class is tailored for your year, but it flows. So all in all, let's do the math on that. So 2 hours on Monday, 2 hours to 3 hours during the week. And for class, it's usually 3 hours. We'll say 3 hours during the week. So it's manageable. As much as I say that sounded like a lot, it was mostly it's mostly incorporated into your coursework. So it's just like aside from the physical training, it's just normal classes, and they're a good escape from the rigorous academics of engineering. So what I think my favorite aspect is the fact that it's totally run by the students. That the cadre, who are, for those that don't know, that we have commissioned officers and non-commissioned officers working at our detachment, so at the program here. But their primary role is more of an advisory role than anything else. The curriculum, the standards, the training, that's all maintained and upheld by us, the juniors and seniors, the students, the student body as a whole. And I think that's really unique because, for better or worse, what the new class of freshmen and sophomores, what they get out of it is directly correlated with what we put in. And it's a good check and balance system because it means everybody pulls their own weight, everybody does what they have to do. And I think that's very unique compared to other professional organizations, professional development organizations. So that's probably my favorite aspect of it. And I think it's the best way to build lifelong leadership skills by far. What I've learned in the program, what I've executed in the program, what I've been trained on has bettered me not just for a future military career, but for civilian life, for day-to-day jobs, for interactions with people. And, I think that ROTC is one of the few, if not the only programs that I could say that about, just because it molds you into a leader. I chose Clarkson because they were one of the few schools that had aeronautical engineering and Air Force ROTC. I wanted a small school size, and when I talked to the people here, it gave off a family atmosphere that really sat well with me. I felt like I wasn't just a number. The ROTC detachment here is, it's on the smaller side compared to, Division I schools, compared to state schools. And I see that as a better thing just because there's more personal interaction. I think that goes a long way with somebody who's on the fence about anything. I think if you make someone feel at home and you make them feel like they're part of your family, I think, the connection that you build really sits with people, and it drives them to become a part of something. My career aspirations, so following graduation, I'm going to commission into the U.S. Air Force as a second lieutenant, and hopefully, provided I stay healthy, knock on wood, I'm going to go down south to attend undergraduate pilot training, where I will hopefully earn my wings and be a pilot in the Air Force. So I chose my major because I've always had an interest in the aviation, aerospace, aeronautical field. I didn't always think that flying was going to be an option for me, so I wanted to give myself the best chance to have a rewarding career and be able to do what I love. Originally, if I didn't have the chance to fly, I planned on being a developmental engineer in the Air Force, working with companies like Lockheed, Boeing, Northrop Grumman to develop new aerospace technology for the Air Force and the civilian world. And that was really where I was at. I didn't want to do anything else aside from something to do with airplanes. I started my pilot's license when I was in high school, and that was, there wasn't really any looking back from that. I didn't really put any thought into what else I wanted to do. I knew that this was a passion of mine that I wanted to make a career out of. Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to say that I'm going to give a shout out to pretty much the whole aero department here. And the reason why I am is they really enable us to do what we do from an ROTC perspective. And, the whole school obviously facilitates us, but from my interactions with professional development projects that we've done. We were working with a simulator platform for Air Education Training Command, which is the training body of the Air Force, as kind of like a new pilot training method. And the Air Department not only allowed us to do it, they really pushed us to take on this project. They got involved, and that was really important to us because when the university invests in what we're doing, it's a lot different than us trying to do a project and getting the university to approve it. When they're pretty much joining forces with us, it's great. So the entire Air Department, specifically Professor Hellenbrook, Professor Visser, Professor Hoover, and Professor Martinez, I mean, they were instrumental in advocating for it. So I think they're really top of the line, top notch professors for it. So, I can answer that a couple different ways. First of all, I'm going to preface this with ROTC in its very existence is built to be standardized in the sense that no matter where you go, ROTC has a curriculum and it has objectives that has to be made in order to create officers for the Air Force. So, on one hand, no matter where you go, ROTC is ROTC. But why I would say come to Clarkson is we have a family atmosphere here that is unlike anywhere else. And we harp on that a lot. Family morale, if you hang around all of us that are in the program, that word will be tossed out probably the most in any conversations, in any planning that we have. We want to make you feel like you're part of our family. We want to make you feel like that, you're not just a number. And unfortunately, a lot of universities, ROTC and just, normal college students, there's a tendency for people to be put into that category of just a number. And we really strive hard not to be that. The resources we have, I would say, are second to none. If you're interested in flying airplanes, the projects that we've undertaken with pilot training, building a connection to the actual pilot training program in the Air Force, you won't get that anywhere else. We're the tip of the sword when it comes to developing rated candidates. And if you looked at our commissioning numbers, the number of pilots, navigators, Space Force officers, it's off the charts, especially when you consider the relatively small number of people that we have. I'd put us up against any other detachment in the country. And, a school like Clarkson, in my mind, that's the icing on the cake, because thinking outside of ROTC, you have to have the support from the university. You have to have the advocating of the program by the university. And if that answers the question, that's it. I mean, I can't recommend this place enough for any high school student that watches this.
That is perfect.
Just one last thing. I think one of the things I'll say is one last unique thing that we do offer is the professional development training and the experience to see the operational side of the Air Force. And that sounds like that sounds really vague, but for example, my freshman year, what really hooked me on the program was we got to take a base visit tour to Burlington, Vermont, to the National Guard base there. And we got to see the day-to-day operations of an F-16 squadron, now F-35 squadron, talk to the pilots, pretty much just hang around the unit, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it gives, going back to freshman year, me, who's this freshman who knows nothing about the military, it draws you in. Seeing a launch of 5 F-16s, talking to the crew members, getting to see an actual aircraft up close, talk to all the different parties that make the Air Force's mission possible. I think that's something that is definitely unique to Clarkson. And it doesn't just stop there. We've taken base visits down to McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey. We've had Clarkson alumni who are military come in and talk to us. Last year we had a B-52 instructor pilot talk to us, which sat well with me. Someone who wants to go into a rated pilot career field, getting to just pick the brain of somebody who's been there and has had success with it, who's pretty much homegrown talent by Clarkson. That's another unique thing, and the connections that it offers us to build. So that's what I'll finish up with is, I'm trying really hard to think of a negative. I can't. I mean, it's a really great place to be here. So.